It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Tuesday, August 5. The country's inflation rate has dropped to 0.9% in July 2025 from 1.4% in June. The July figure is a sharp decline from the 4.4% recorded in the same month of last year. The slowdown is mainly attributed to lower price increases in housing, utilities, and fuels.
The yellow alert status over the Visayas grid has been extended to 8 hours on Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Earlier, NGCP issued a shorter alert that was supposed to last from 3 to 4 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. A yellow alert basically means there's not enough extra power in case of emergencies on the grid.
The Chinese embassy in Manila has defended the increase of Beijing's research vessels in Philippine waters. The embassy reiterates China's claim of sovereignty over the Spratly Islands. The Philippine Coast Guard has so far recorded between 20 and 22 Chinese research ships entering the country's waters in 2025.
And several groups held a protest in front of the Supreme Court to urge justices to reverse their ruling on the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. The High Tribunal earlier declared the impeachment complaint unconstitutional, citing the one-year bar rule. Protesters claim the ruling hinders accountability. They're also accusing the court of conflict of interest, as justices themselves are also impeachable officials. Senator Risa Hontiveros called on Congress to revoke the president's authority to adjust rice tariffs. President Marcos signed Executive Order 62 in June 2024, which cut rice import tariffs from 35% to 15% until 2028, subject to review every 4 months. Hontiveros said the order led to a flood of imported rice and severe losses for local farmers. She filed a joint resolution with Senator Kiko Pangilinan and Akbayan lawmakers to reverse the tariff cuts. Hontiveros warned that if the issue is not fixed, fewer farmers may plant rice this October.
Dahil sa EO62, bumaha ng imported na bigas mula sa ibang bansa. At dahil dito, nalulugi na ang ating mga magsasaka. Ilang beses na rin nating itinanong ang NEDA, ano na ba ang plano para i-review ang EO62? Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin linaw yan. Kaya panawagan ko sa Kongreso, magkaisa tayo. Ibalik natin ang proteksyon sa ating mga magsasaka. Suportahan naman natin ang mga magsasakang nagpapakain sa ating bansa.
And joining us today from the Philippine Star, ang bossing ng Star, si Miss Ami Pamintuan.
Hi, happy Tuesday. Wala pa heckler nyo, ah.
Wala today. Sorry everyone.
Baka nandun sa Supreme Court, sumama dun sa Supreme Court.
Personal errand.
Yes, he has to attend to a personal matter. Yeah. So wala today si Ronald Llamas, but
Mama's boy si Ronald ngayon, Tito Ronald.
Oh yes.
Mama's boy.
Ganun ba?
Dutiful son duties.
Can you imagine that?
I was going to comment on the rice tariffs, but we do have breaking news again, which is the Supreme Court required petitioners Vice President Sara Duterte and attorney Israelito Torion to comment on the motion of reconsideration filed by the House within a non-extendable period of 10 days from notice. So again, the House filed the motion of reconsideration yesterday, citing the sole authority to initiate an impeachment. What did House Speaker Martin Romualdez say? To dissent is not to...
forget the word.
But it was nicely phrased. It was very well worded. Very diplomatic, very respectful, and it was coursed through the office of the Solicitor General.
Hindi siya mako-contempt kay Richard Aydarian.
Para through OSG na lang, no? OSG Darlene Berberabe. And then today...
Motion din yung motion for intervention. Yung bayan. And file a motion.
Yes, they also filed a separate motion for reconsideration. But today, the Supreme Court just now asked the petitioners, the original petitioners, si Sara Duterte and Israelito Torion nga, to comment on the motion within a non-extendable 10 days period.
So that pushes
10-day calendar days
things
ba yun o
further
ano
back.
yun?
Usually
It just
it's calendar
says,
days, eh.
oh, 10 days from notice. So
But usually it's calendar
should be
days.
calendar days,
Calendar
not session
days.
days, not working days.
Lumalabas na si Jose Marichan, hindi pa rin tayo tapos dito sa ano, no?
Ang question is what happens tomorrow?
Controversial to.
Oh, pero
Ano,
ang question is what happens tomorrow kasi di ba
Yes.
in limbo lahat at least as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. Tapos the Senate is set to deliberate tomorrow and possibly vote on what to do
Although
with the
medyo
impeachment.
lumalakas daw na baka i-defer din nila dahil nga dyan sa mga yan.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
May survey ngayon yung OCTA eh. Bumaba yung Senate saka yung House tumaas yung
talaga?
trust ratings. Meron.
How big was the jump?
Well, we've got also today, maybe
About 7, ano?
maybe because of that. Also today, you have Senators Bam Aquino and Risa Ontiveros saying that the Senate should withhold its August 6th vote on the matter. They're saying now that there's an MR filed by the House, there's no need for the Senate to rush its decision. Because what are we expecting tomorrow if they do get together and do a plenary session on this? We are expecting them to vote on the matter. And last we heard, the vast majority of the upper chamber is in favor of abiding by the Supreme Court ruling.
It does sound funny. They have to vote on whether or not to follow the Supreme Court.
It does. We were talking about this. It raises a lot of
okay, we agree to follow, or we not to follow?
or should we just do our own thing? Do we have enough authority? But again, we come back to the point that these are co-equal branches of government, supposedly, right? And even now, there's a tug of war between the House. There's a tug of war between the House and the Supreme Court over whether the House basically has the authority to supersede. They according to them, they did everything by the book, right? Everything was constitutionally sound.
And questions over appreciation of facts.
Yes. Again, respectfully.
Respectfully.
In the letter, they said respectfully. Because one of the things they cited was the fact that the Supreme Court went by media reports
the
of the
ABS-CBN report.
sequence, the ABS-CBN report on the sequence of events.
Whereas the official record in the House
Tama nga naman.
says otherwise.
Oo nga. I mean, if you
So,
go
by
by
some
kahirap yung
regularity ka.
tinanong na lang sana ng Supreme Court, ano? Yung House.
yes.
Ano ba to? Ano ba yung yung timeline niyo?
To hand over
Diba?
the official record of events, the official timeline of events, right?
Especially because they didn't hold oral arguments. Dapat mas ano yung record keeping nila, di ba? Mas accurate.
Yeah.
But anyway, yung order ngayon ng Supreme Court, it shows that the ruling is not final.
That's correct. Yeah, that's
Yung order ngayon, na araw na to.
That's the
Kasi yan
implication
ang
of things.
sasabihin eh.
You order to
May
respond.
hinihingi ka pa nga eh.
Kasi there was a discussion
Yeah,
earlier na it's final na raw and executor, therefore there should
executory.
be no room for an MR.
Originally,
Pwede,
yes.
There was some discussion in the Senate.
Sorry, I'm say that again.
Although, even before this, meron talagang 10-day period for filing a motion for reconsideration. Not a 10-day period, but I mean until August 10 sana. Ngayon, may ganyan na at may order ng Supreme Court. Obviously, it's not yet a final order.
So it's a recognition by the Supreme Court that the MR is being processed.
Not final. Oh.
But again, what are the chances or what's the probability
That's a different.
that
That's a different.
high court composed of
kapag-
13 esteemed judges
That's a different chapter in
would
the.
change their minds about a ruling as significant as this, right?
They can acknowledge na nagkamali sila sa appreciation ng timeline.
Exactly.
Yung timeline lang.
Yeah.
They
Again,
don't know we violated the Constitution or anything.
Yeah. Again, for the benefit of people who are not familiar, when you talk about the timeline, that was the timeline of
Between
February.
the first 3 complaints and the acceptance of the 4th complaint and the transmittal to the Senate.
The timeline being, if you follow the House published timeline, at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, February 5, the House voted, the plenary voted on the 4th to have it sent to the Senate.
Yes.
And at around 5 o'clock,
sa kanila in-archive.
around 5 o'clock, nakarating yung transmitted copy ng House dun sa Senado. Tapos at around 7 o'clock, nag-adjourn yung House, and by so doing, technically na-archive na yung first 3.
Archive na yung tatlo.
Yung first 3 complaints.
And that is an issue because we're debating the definition of initiate.
Initiate.
Ano yung na-initiate dito? Was it the first 3? Were the first 3 initiated, which the Supreme Court sees as yes? Or was only the 4th complaint initiated?
Kasi if you follow the Supreme Court decision, the first 3 complaints were archived and therefore acted upon
Before daw the transmittal.
before the transmission, the transmittal. So magkabaliktad
Ang
ang,
sinasabi ng
ang
House.
narrative nila.
Transmit muna na nagbutuhan muna kami doon sa 4th bago kami nag-archive ng first 3.
Yeah.
So,
That is why
walang
some people are
1 year
saying
ban.
there's some misappreciation of the facts and the timeline.
Oo. Ganun lang naman kasi kasalanan na naman yan ng media. Mali-mali report natin. Pwede naman nila sabihin na pwede,
kasalanan ng
papayag na
mga-
kami, sige kami nagkamali.
Kasalanan ng Jaryo, Ami.
Mga bias kasi kayo.
Oo, kaya, payag na kami, sige, okay lang. Mea culpa na kami, mea culpa.
Mea
Pwede
culpa,
na kami,
mea
Mga
culpa.
culpa. But you know, it should be really easy to find out what really happened kasi
Yeah.
it's on the record.
Yeah, everything is documented. Even the exact, the time, down to the exact minute when the House received it. Right? Okay, we're still talking about this impeachment process. Let's now bring in our first guest. We've got former Senator Coco Pimentel with us on the line. Good afternoon, Senator. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi,
Magandang
Senator.
hapon. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes.
Si Senator, batat na siya yan. So,
Oo nga. Sige.
You have unfinished business, no, Senator? When you stepped off the Senate, hindi pa rin na-resolve itong impeachment process, and even now to this day, the latest news strand today being that the Supreme Court asked the original petitioners, Vice President Sara Duterte and Attorney Israelito Torion, to comment on the MR filed by the House. How do you think this is all going?
Well, I joined the call to revisit the ruling, the decision. Kailangan balikan po ng Supreme Court yan kasi binasa ko rin po yan. 4 hours ko po binasa bago ko natapos kasi mahaba
97,
kasi
yes.
pati footnote binasa natin. Kaya kailangan balikan kasi merong parang merong belief ang Supreme Court that when the session was adjourned on February 5, 2005, the 19th Congress was also adjourned. Merong ganong entry early in the decision. And then, sa second part ng decision, meron ang description naman nila, the session of February 5 was adjourned. Iba po yun, is kung ang adjournment ng session, that is the normal day-to-day adjournment namin. But when you say that the 19th Congress was adjourned on February 5, that is actually a mistake.
Yeah.
A mistake. Kaya nga, dapat i-analyze nila how that mistake influenced their conclusion.
Pero sir, for the non-lawyers and for the non-legislators, can you give us a qualifier there? Exactly what is the difference between an adjournment and, for example, going into recess until June 2? Was June 2 ba yung pagbabalik?
Oo. Parehas kasi adjournment ang ginagamit na salita. Nung law student ako, litong-lito din ako dyan. Pero siyempre, naging legislator ako, nalaman ko na the daily sessions you adjourn. Pero the Congress is also adjourned permanently or sine die because meron ng susunod na bagong Congress. So, but the word, ang ginagamit na word, parehong adjourn. Pero yung isa, under the Constitution, pag nag-adjourn ka na sine die, yan na yung final session ninyo, yung mga unfinished business ninyo, especially legislative ones, are deemed terminated. Pero that happened June 11, 2025. Yun po yung nag-adjourn kami. Formally namin sinabi, we are adjourning the session sine die. Walang day. Wala kaming day ng resumption kasi Constitution na ang nagsabi kailan magko-convene ang next Congress. Samantalang yung mga adjournment na day-to-day, tulad ng February 5, sabi namin, adjourn tayo and then see you again June 2.
Yeah.
So adjournment lang yun na adjournment. Hindi yan yung adjournment na sinabi ng Constitution na yung unfinished business mo ay terminated, ay deemed terminated. Hindi po yan yun.
Does the Constitution specify that, Senator? Yung difference? It's open
again?
Does the Constitution specify the difference or it's open for interpretation?
No. That's very clear. When the Congress, when the entire Congress now adjourns because it is their final session, mandated by the Constitution to be your final session, kasi merong certain number of days before the next Congress, dapat naka-break na kayo eh. So that is your final session. Yan yung governed yan yung governed ng constitutional provision na yung unfinished business mo dyan ay deemed terminated. Settled. That is very, very well settled na yan. And that happened to apply it to the 19th Congress. Nangyari po yan noong June 11, 2025. Hindi po yan nangyari noong February 5, 2025.
Sir, if you apply that concept to what happened dun sa impeachment complaint. Tama ba sir na if I understood correctly kasi ang argument ng Supreme Court is that the three complaints were technically archived or terminated on February 5 because nag-adjourn yung Congress. But because hindi talaga siya adjournment sine die, hindi pa siya archived actually until June 11?
Oo, hindi nga hindi. Pero actually, ganito kasi ang nangyari and then kinote ito mismo sa decision, naka-quote doon, ano yung motion sa House. Kaya nila in-archive yung tatlo kasi nga, meron na silang kinilusan na articles of impeachment signed by more than 1/3. Yun ang unang pabungad na salita eh. Because there's already a verified complaint signed by more than 1/3 of the members of this House. This shall become the articles of impeachment. The period. And then sabi, anong gawin natin doon sa tatlo? I-archive na. So, kitang-kita na may reasoning. Nakitang-kita natin yung reasoning. Hindi naman in-archive lang yung tatlo dahil lang sa nag-adjourn lang ang session day. Hindi po. So, there was a reasoning there.
So, Senator, pinag-uusapan ngayon kung ano mangyayari bukas. Kasi of course, earlier this week, sinabi na nga na around 19, over the weekend actually, around 19 to 20 senators that will be voting for the Senate to bow na lang to the Supreme Court. Paano ngayon? Nagkaroon ng motion for reconsideration at inaksyonan ng Supreme Court yung MR by asking for a comment from the Vice President and her lawyer. So, pwede ba nating sabihin, hindi pa final yung order na yan ng Supreme Court, pwede ba maghintay muna kayo sandali before voting on this? I'm talking about the Senate.
Yes, tama. That is the better course of action ng Senado. Tama naman na mag-MR ang House of Representatives, tapos mabilis naman pala ang kilos ng Supreme Court. Pero hindi ko alam yun. Hindi ko alam yung kilos sa Supreme Court. You are the ones informing me na kumilos
ngayon
ng
lang yan,
Supreme Court.
Senator.
Yes, sir. Madam.
Yeah.
Okay, so breaking
Yes,
news
sir, it's
pala
breaking.
yan. So,
Yes.
so kung kumilos na rin ng Supreme Court, I think the better course of action ng Senado is to await the resolution of the Supreme Court sa kanilang sa MR.
But ang sabi rin ng mga tao, exercise in futility lang naman daw yon dahil karamihan daw sa senador, talagang ayaw na mag-trial. Pwede ba whatever the Supreme Court rules, pwede bang magdesisyon ang mga senador? Huwag na nating itry yan.
Dapat hindi.
Pwede ba yun?
Kasi ako, matagal ko ng interpretation, hindi pwede yun. Kasi trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Yun na nga, balik na naman tayo ron sa...
Forthwith.
Kasi
Yes.
ang nangyari kasi rito, very specific paragraph ng Constitution ang in play, ang in effect. Kasi ito mismo yung nangyari. There is a verified complaint signed by more than 1/3 of the House. Therefore, ito na dapat ang itinuring na articles of impeachment and trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. So,
Meaning,
merong
Senator,
very
hindi
specific-
option yung hindi option for the senators na hindi mag-trial.
Parang hindi mo sinunod yung utos ng Constitution that trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Kasi yung very specific subparagraph na yun yung applicable sa situation. Very, very applicable. Eksaktong-eksakto. More than 1/3. Tapos, ayan na, verified naman ng more than 1/3. Therefore, ano ang utos ng Constitution? Trial by the Senate. So, trial. Kaya nga, yung due process ang due process rights nung impeached official, yun na yun. Automatic na sa trial yun. Yun ang meaning natin ng trial. Kung titingnan natin ang rules of court, merong ang order of trial dyan na after the prosecution, yung defense, yung accused naman or defense naman ang susunod, talagang pagbibigyan siya . So meron talagang guarantee of due process. The right to be heard.
Of course, at this point, Senator, everyone knows that sole authority to initiate is with the House, sole authority to try is with the Senate. Isa lang ang caveat here, which is pag nagkaroon ng grave abuse of discretion, that's when the Supreme Court can step in. Do you think they should have stepped in this instance?
In this instance kasi, I believe very specific yung yung paragraph involved . And swak na swak , pasok na pasok. So, yun na yun. So, trial by the Senate shall proceed. And then tanggapin na natin yung verdict ng Senado. Ang importante, nag-trial at kahit i-acquit nila, okay yun, tanggapin ng taong bayan yun. Acquit or guilty.
Sir, tapos sir, yung ruling Supreme Court kasi says that the Speaker and the Section, they do not have the discretion to delay or defer yung paggalaw ng isang impeachment complaint na verified. I'm wondering lang, ano yung sabihin nun? Does this mean that any complaint that is filed with the House has to be acted upon and thereby initiated, regardless of whether or not the House wants to move forward with that complaint or not? Kasi for example, di ba, yung panahon ni GMA, ang daming mga serial impeachment filers
Yes.
to immunize the people in power. So ano talaga what really works? Does the House have to act on each and every one? And by act, I mean, does it have to refer to the Justice Committee, thereby triggering the 1-year bar, even if it doesn't like that impeachment complaint?
Ang standards kasi na nasa Constitution, they have 10 session days
Yes, sir.
to include it
To
in the
calendar.
order of business. And then, yung decision na, ginawan pa niya ng table at pinakita dun sa table na pasok naman sa 10 session days. So, dapat ganun lang yun. Sinukat lang siya sa standards. Pagka nag-comply sa standards, what is the issue? Hindi ba? I mean, yun ang standards ng Constitution . we have 10 session days to refer it to to include it in the calendar or the order of business. Ginawa nila ng table, doon, pinakita nila na nga, no, sa session days, hindi naman yan pareho sa calendar days. At kung bilangin natin, isok nga sa 10 session days. So, what is the issue? Why is there still an issue? Hindi naman sinabi doon na refer it immediately. Sinabi doon you have 10 session days. So in-examine ng Supreme Court. Nag-comply ba doon sa 10 session days? Yes, nag-comply. So ang tanong natin, what is now the issue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I mean is, not just in this case, but in any case in the future, is Congress required to initiate any impeachment complaint filed with it? In other words, automatically ba na pag may nirefer, may final na verified complaint, kailangan umabot na doon sa Justice Committee, thereby initiating and triggering the 1-year bar?
The 1 year.
Tanda mo, meron pa you have 10 session days to include it in the calendar of business or the order of business, and you have 3 session days to refer it to the committee,
yes,
the
sir.
proper committee, the Committee on Justice. So, mayroon pang ang daming steps pa. Doon lang tinignan sa 10 session days, nag-comply naman. So, kaya nga ako nagtataka, what is the issue? Bakit nagkaroon bigla ng issue? Ang problema rito, sana wag natin i-micromanage yung House of Representatives kasi reality naman yan na may mga araw talaga na hindi nag-a-adjourn yung session, hindi na-adjourn at sinususpend lamang. Meron talaga kahit sa Senate, nangyayari yan pagka-budget season, ang haba-haba ng session namin, siguro one week yun, 7 calendar days yun, 1 session lamang. Kasi ginagawa po talaga yan at sana political decision na yan, political judgment na yan ng mga members ng House, whether mag-suspend ba sila o mag-adjourn sila nung session nila sa araw na yon. Ipaubaya na natin sa members ng House yun, sa members ng Senate or na members ng House of Representatives kasi political decision na yun.
But with this, Senator, you said you started by saying that you joined the call for the Supreme Court to revisit its ruling, and we keep coming back to the fact na unanimous yung decision. It's 13-0. 2 did not vote on it. I mean, realistically, how hopeful are you that this would still happen?
What is important is na ma-entertain yung motion for reconsideration and ma-revisit yung decision. Yun lang. If they will reaffirm their decision, so be it. Yan naman yung power nila eh. Pero ang importante is ma-revisit po yung decision.
Ma-revisit and for them to take another look at the facts, because that seems to be what
Yes, revisit. Revisit, review each paragraph, each assumption. May mga assumptions kasi ron eh. Especially that assumption that the February 5 adjournment was the adjournment of the 19th Congress. That is a wrong conclusion actually. So kung makikita natin, apparently siguro yung writer nung first part, that was the assumption of the writer of the first part. Pero sa second part, meron yung whoever drafted the second part, sinabi niya that the session of February 5 was adjourned. Very clear siya doon. Session lang ang na-adjourn. Hindi yung Congress ang nag-adjourn.
So may inconsistencies between the first and second parts.
Yes,
Senator, may mga nagsasabi.
When I was reading the decision, yun ang napansin ko, yung first part, early in the decision, ganun, ang sabi niya, the 19th Congress adjourned.
Yeah.
And then ang date nung yung nagsulat man noon, ang date niya February 5.
Yeah.
Mali po 'yun. That is a factually wrong statement. And then i-review ngayon ng court because of that because of that assumption na akala nila February 5 nag-adjourn, how did this affect their conclusion?
Okay. Okay.
Senator, pahabol ko lang kasi you said you read the entire decision for 4 hours. May mga nagsasabi it has emasculated the House and its power to impeach. Ano po yung tingin nyo doon sa ganong observation?
Ang impression ko, mas mahirap na ngayon mag-impeach at saka parang each step of the way pwede mong itakbo sa Supreme Court kasi pati daw yung evidence na ipapasa mo sa Committee on Justice dapat daw substantial enough to prove the charges. Pagdating sa ganun, who will decide kung substantial enough? You will always now go to the Supreme Court. Kaya nga kahit nung hindi ko pa nabasa yung decision, nung na-interview ako na hindi ko pa nabasa, ang sabi ko dapat mag-ingat ang court dito kasi they themselves are impeachable officials.
Yeah.
Kung pahirapan nila ngayon ang process at saka each step of the way pwedeng itakbo sa kanila, paano na ngayon yan when in the future the subject official of the impeachment is a member of the court. That is now the big problem. That is why kailangan i-revisit. And then kung tutusin, may napansin nga ako dun sa decision na diniscuss din doon ng Supreme Court. Sabi ko, bakit na madi-discuss ang Supreme Court sa kasong ito? So dapat basta ako I joined the call to have the decision reviewed and revisited, and then I'm glad the House of Representatives filed a motion for reconsideration para formally na mabuksan ang pag-revisit sa decision. Kailangan aralin ng mabuti kasi mabigat pong implications ito sa future. Hindi lang natin siguro nakikita ngayon, but mabigat po sa future po.
That's also what the other legal experts have told us. It has a lot of implications for accountability in the future. But we will leave the conversation there for now. Thank you so much for making time to talk to us today, former Senator Coco Pimentel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
You are watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We've got developing news in the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay. Still with us, I'm Pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
And joining us this afternoon is former Senator Sonny Trillanes. Sir, magandang hapon and sabihin natin advance happy birthday.
Happy
birthday,
little
bird told us.
Magandang hapon po. Salamat po.
Yes, sir.
Ed.
Sir, i-confirm namin kasi we've been seeing the soundbite doing the rounds, quoting you saying na in your personal discussions with Leni Robredo and Bam Aquino from a few years back, they told you daw that they would not have surrendered Duterte to the ICC. Can you give us as much detail as you can as to how that conversation occurred and what was the context?
Okay. Well, una-una kasamang Ed, itong statement na to is part of the conversation namin ni Christian Esguerra dun sa kanyang podcast.
Apo.
So, ang konteksto niyan ay during the campaign, ang isang hiniling sa akin ni then VP Leni was kung pwede daw gamitin yung pangalan ko na ako yung reason kung bakit hindi pa itatanggapin si Nery Colmenares dun sa slate. Para daw she can kumbaga get the best of both worlds. Nung hinarap niya yung mga leftists, sinabi niya ang may ayaw kay Nery Colmenares na mapasok sa slate ay so ako pumayag ako noon kasi she was the principal, so just being a good soldier, sige. Pero alam ko na tatamaan ako, no? Mga magagalit sa akin siyempre mga leftists. Pero hiningi na ano 'yon, na condition 'yon. Tapos during the course of the campaign, sinabi nila na ang position nila sa ICC ay hindi nila i-recognize yung jurisdiction at hindi nila ibibigay si Digong sa ICC kung naging presidente si Leni. Ngayon, In fact, as late as last year, nire-request yan sa akin nila Bam Aquino na baka daw, kung pwede daw i-delay yung pag-issue ng arrest warrant kay Digong dahil baka daw makakaapekto sa kandidatura nila. In fact, sabi ko nga, hindi, mas makakatulong pa nga sa inyo yan. Kasi, kumbaga, kayo magbe-benefit nun. Pero, talagang merong alyansa sila eh. Then eventually, during the campaign noong 2022, nakita ko yung Rosa, alam niyo yung Rosa, Robredo, Sara, na coalition. Na to the point na nung isang rally namin sa Pangasinan, hindi nila pinaakyat si then VP candidate Kiko Pangilinan sa entablado. Kasi nga, dun sa Robredo-Sara Alliance. So meron ng ganon ever since. So yun naman ang konteksto nun. At nailabas yan dun sa conversation in light of the making the Dutertes accountable. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa 2028, I'm not inclined to support Leni because magkaalyado at magkaibigan sila ni Sara Duterte. Yun po yan.
Oo nga, you made some headlines for saying that, Senator, no? I mean, and you were also, I remember, quite vocal nung dinalo ni Vice President Sara, si former VP sa Naga. We talked to you back then as well. Describe this friendship for me. I mean, like, all politicians are friends naman. Magkakakilala naman lahat ng politicians. But how deep does this friendship go, do you think?
Palagay ko malalim. And in fact, we have aside dun sa mga sinight ko na historical mga incidents na yan, ito, no, up to now, si Mayor Leni has yet to say anything about the impeachment trial of Sara Duterte. Alam mo, malakas na boses yan. Leni, pero she's quiet. Tapos yun na nga, yung binisita doon. Alam nyo, based sa information namin, yung pagbisita doon sa Naga, ano yun maagang, na-set yun. Hindi naman yun yung 30 minutes na short notice. Kumaga, naman tayo, ginagawa tayong parang bata. Alam natin yon. Tapos talagang hinos niya. And ako, bilang insider doon sa mga pink, talagang alam namin na may mga ganon sila nagalaw. Yun na nga, biruin nyo, si Kiko Pangilinan was prevented from going up to the stage, sa Pangasinan. Kami, na-dismaya kami noon, ba't may mga ganitong laro? Yung pala, para ma-accommodate nga yung Rosa na grupo, kasi they were hoping sa Mindanao, magro-Robredo Sara yung mga tao. Yun yung binibenta sa kanila. So, ganun po yan.
Pero sir, how are we certain na this has the blessings of Leni Robredo, itong hindi pag-akyat kay Kiko sa stage. Also yung Rosa campaign daw.
Sometimes it's just the supporters who do it.
Minsan ganun po, or the local campaigners.
Sabi ko nga, we're not born yesterday. Alam natin ito. Tsaka alam ni in fact nagma-micromanage yan si Leni sa kampanya noon. She will just feign ignorance para may deniability. Kaya ko nga sinight yung ginawa dun sa mga leftists noon na ang ni-name drop, ako ang may ayaw. Pero hiningi niya yon. Sinabi niya yun sa akin na ako yung gagamitin niya. So kumbaga meron siyang ganong mga taktika para makuha niya yung mga kumbaga best of so many words, kumbaga. Pero alam niya yun. Siya yun eh. Meron lang kasi ang karamihan sa inyo, meron kayong image of Leni Robredo as somewhat parang pristine na pagkatao na naive sa politika. No, alam niya yung mga taktika na ganyan. That, by the way, that doesn't make her a bad person. Ang sinasabi ko lang, meron siyang mga ganong laro. Alam niya yung mga ganyang laro ng politika.
Pero Senator, parang hindi siya tumatama kasi alam din naman natin how Rodrigo Duterte treated her nung vice president siya. And medyo matindi yung ano sa kanya yung ginawa din sa kanya, no? And parang hindi yan it doesn't jibe with what happened to her under the Duterte presidency.
Okay.
Ano naman yung masasabi niyo sa ganyang mga observation?
Ito po, she was maligned by Duterte, the father, but she never fought back, di ba? Hindi naman niya, she never made accountable yung itong mga tao. At pinag-uusapan po natin dito si Sara. Kasi yan po ang palaging argumento. Siya naging biktima siya doon. Yes, pero hindi naman siya tumindig. Pero si Sara, ang pinag-uusapan ho natin, iba ang kanilang samahan at dun sa tatay. Yun po yan. And may mga sinight po ako ng mga incidents para nga to prove my case. At alam ko po yan, sinabi sa akin yan yung hindi pagbigay kay Duterte sa ICC because yun daw magiging policy nila. Yun po yun.
Sir, did they say...
Pero may background ba yan, yung friendship niya with it looks like a friendship the way you describe it. May background ba yung friendship ni Mayor Lenny with Sara Duterte?
Meron po.
Parang wala kasi...
Okay, ganito po. I-google nyo na lang po. Lenny Robredo, Sara Duterte, friendship, beyond politics. I-google nyo. May mga articles about that. So kumbaga, ako bilang insider, hindi naman ako magsasalita ho ng ganito na parang ano purpose ko nito? I'll be fabricating this information. Sana ho, kumbaga, bigyan naman ako ng konting credit na wala akong ganong history.
But that's...
Saka may balita ba kayo na will it have any impact on the 2028 race? Kasi ngayon, midway through the term na lahat ngayon, tinitingnan na 2028 Meron bang merong at this point, dapat may mga plano na yan Ano yung nababalitaan nyo?
Okay, hindi ko nga po maintindihan. Ang palagi kong sinasabi sa kanila, the Duterte base will never go for somebody like Lenny Robredo kahit na anong gawin nilang pag-court ganon. Pero ganon pa rin, just the same Pinipilit nila yung Rosa na yon noong 2022. They allowed it to happen at the expense of Kiko Pangilinan. At kumbaga tapos after ito palaging sinasabihan ako kung pwedeng ma-delay yung sa issuance ng warrant ni Digong na sinasabi ko nga in the first place I don't have the capacity to do that, but still they're saying it just the same at makakaapekto raw sa kanila. Hindi ko maintindihan, but it is what it is. Alam ko na magkaibigan sila, kaya hindi nila hinahabol, hindi nila Lenny Robredo is not saying anything even about the impeachment of Sara Duterte na lahat na yata ng political personalities may opinion about this, pero siya na symbolic leader ng mga pink wala ka maririnig. Yun po yun.
Well, there's also the fact na she's back in local government now, right? So far, yung mga voices na naririnig natin about the impeachment are national officials. But the other thing I wanted to point out, sir, is that I think that's the other question here, which is what is your beef with Mayor Lenny, right, is what some people are asking. Kasi maybe not so long ago, you were pushing very hard for a Lenny Robredo presidency, and now you've been hitting her the last several months, if not, it's been a year. What happened in between?
Okay, ganito po. We were pushing for Lenny Robredo to be president noong 2022. Kasi we didn't have any choice. Siya po yung incumbent vice president. Tapos, wala pang mga ganitong mga incidents, no? Nagsimula lang naman yun, yung mga sinasite ko na mga ganyang mga taktika during the campaign period na. Pero having gone through that, yung kanyang pag-vacillate nung pagde-decide whether to run or not, I look at that as somewhat irresponsible, di ba? Oh. Ngayon, I don't want to go through that kasi may mga choices na ngayon. Yun lang naman yun. Nothing against Leni Robredo. Sabi ko nga, she's a good person and under peaceful conditions, she would probably be a good president. But we're not living in such a world. We're living in a very dangerous world now na maraming mga evil forces at play. Kaya kailangan natin yung tumitindig. At syempre, kailangan natin yung hindi kaibigan yung mga Dutertes. At kung ina-arbor pa lang nila, before pa lang na nakapwesto, lalo na siguro pag nakapwesto na. Yun po yun. Walang ano ho dito. Hindi ko siya unang-una, hindi ko siya tinitira. Tinatanong lang po ako, in the course of the conversation, lumalabas siya. At ito po, dito sa pag-guest ko po sa inyo, I didn't volunteer to talk about this. Yun ang sabi sa akin na ito yung pag-uusapan.
Yes,
yun
sir.
lang po yun.
Yes, that's
Sir,
clear.
I'm also wondering, sir, yung itong pagsabi rin ni Leni na ayaw niyang i-surrender si Duterte sa ICC. What was the reason given for that? Considering that is the former president himself, not the daughter that we are talking about. Ano raw yung dahilan kung bakit hindi ipapasurrender sana?
Hindi ko ho maintindihan. Just as in the same way na nung sinabihan ako na ako gagamitin para hindi masama si Nery Colmenar sa slate, hindi ko na rin tinatanong yung mga ganon. You're just being a good soldier. But iniisip ko, kung mananalo siya, doon ko na lang siya ipe-persuade na kailangan isurrender itong si Duterte sa ICC kasi talagang compromise yung ating hudikatura, hindi talaga mapapanagot ito. Pero ito na nga yung tuloy-tuloy na hanggang ngayon silensyo sila about anything about the Dutertes. Tapos ito na nga lumalabas talaga na magkaibigan talaga sila. So very.
Yes, sir. Sir, last question, sir. I do remember din kasi in the middle to the latter part of the Duterte administration, VP Sara was also referring to Robredo as the FVP or the fake vice president. I remember that she made several references to Leni, both in her official speeches and in her statements. So I'm wondering how to
reconcile all of
that.
this because, as you said, they're really friends, and I'm also wondering whether hindi kaya ito is this is just a political calculation in the same vein as, for instance, Senator Pam and Kiko joining the majority. It's just a calculation. It's a strategy.
Well, sa akin, anything regarding the Dutertes, ano yan, delikadong laro yan. At maliwanag yung sinabi sa akin, hindi nila i-turn over si Duterte. Ngayon, kung yung mga earlier statements, baka naayos na yon or baka naintindihan nila yon kasi ngayon magkaibigan talaga sila. And sabi ko nga sa inyo, try i-google nyo lang. Merong mga articles about their friendship, long-standing friendship. Yun lang po yun.
Senator, pahabol ko lang, meron pa bang lalabas na arrest order ang ICC related to the drug war?
Well, we're working on that, and but it's not gonna happen soon, but it will happen at some point. We're looking at end of the year or early next year.
How many more are we looking at, Senator?
At least 2, but probably 3.
By the end of the year?
By the end of the year or early next year. Pero iliwanagin ko, hindi po kasama si Sara Duterte dyan sa mga kinuha.
Meron nga kasi din rumors na baka ma-implicate siya. No? So this is still part of the original 5 that you mentioned last year? Yung 5 former Duterte officials?
Mostly police.
Oo,
Yes,
mostly police officials.
Opo.
Some of them retired. Same pa rin to.
Opo. At si si Bongo is also in play.
Suddenly he's in play now alongside, I guess, Senator Bato de la Rosa.
No,
Paymaster.
Si Bongo was always there. Andun naman siya right from the get-go.
So these arrest warrants that could potentially come out may also involve him.
Yes, sana. That's what we're working on.
That's 2 members of the Senate.
That's 2 members of the Senate.
Yeah.
Paano
Yeah.
kaya
Although naisama na sila doon sa Quadcom, di ba?
Oh.
Implicated sila doon sa Quadcom investigation.
But isn't there also immunity for the Senate?
Wala.
The Senate could provide them some protection, di ba?
While in session.
While
I
in
think.
session?
While in session.
While in session.
Tama, sir?
We'll see. Tignan ho natin kung kayang maka-seek sila ng protection doon.
Okay. We leave that there for now. Thank you so much
Maraming salamat, sir.
for joining StoryCon today and
Thank you,
squeezing us
Senator.
in.
Salamat po.
That was
Thank
former
you.
Senator Sunny
In
Tirullanes.
advance, happy
Thank
birthday
you,
na
sir.
rin. Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday po.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for joining. Well, we're almost over time again. Thanks for joining StoryCon today. I'm Mipa Mitun, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.